Hello everyone, as seen in the title, today we will search and explore the end of the world. In fact, the concept of the end of the world has always been one of the things that people are eager to learn about. From our early days until humans became more developed, knew how to invent means of transportation, understood more about the world, the curiosity about the end of the world has always urged us to learn. So does the world really have an end? Since ancient times, people believed that the earth was flat, disc-shaped, not spherical. Even sailors were afraid that after they reached the end of the earth, they would fall off the earth. The end of the earth at that time was described as a place with strange creatures, never before seen landscapes, and could even swallow everything. And people thought that the end of the world was a giant waterfall. Until now, there are still people who hold the view that the earth is flat. The flat earth theory believes that the North Pole is the center of the earth, and the South Pole with its giant ice sheets is actually a long wall surrounding the giant disk to prevent the seawater and everything from falling out of the universe. Some people even believe that the governments of the countries around the world have prevented anyone from trying to climb over those ice sheets to explore the Antarctic region and find the truth of the world. And only scientists from the governments of the countries are allowed to go to the Antarctic. Actually, this is a completely wrong view because tourists still go to the Antarctic every year. And people have also crossed the Antarctic many times, even finding inaccessible areas of the world, but we still set foot there. Of course, it is a difficult journey and scientists have also had to work very hard to get to this area. However, we still have a place at the end of the world, literally the city at the end of the world. Now let's explore that city. So what is the name of that city and where is it? That city is called Ushuaia, the southernmost city in the world. That's why it is considered the end of the world. This is the southernmost point of the South American continent and it belongs to Argentina. Anyone who comes to Argentina considers this one of the places worth visiting. People call this the end of the world because it is the last land point on the continents. That also means this is the most suitable place for us humans to start our journey to explore the Antarctic region. This is the starting point for hundreds of trains every day taking tourists to explore Antarctica on tours of at least 5 to 7 days. The easiest way to get here is by plane. In addition, those who have more time can choose to explore by car or boat. And talking about the history of this land, it was discovered in the 16th century by Europeans. But in fact, the Native Americans have lived here for a very long time. During the exploration, the Europeans brought with them deadly pathogens such as seasonal diseases and measles. At that time, Europe could be said to have achieved community immunity and the explorers already had antibodies to the local people. Specifically, the natives could not resist these diseases from Europe. These diseases can be considered very strange and the epidemics made it impossible for the natives to live. This was the main cause of the extinction of the natives here, not the cause of war or conflicts with the Europeans. This area was discovered in the 16th century, but it was not until 300 years later that people began to move here in larger numbers. Because of the very dangerous location of this area, at the end of the 19th century, the Argentine government used this place to build a prison, one of the prisons that held the most dangerous criminals in Argentina. They had the view that this was the end of the world. Such a remote place would be difficult for dangerous criminals to escape. And over time, these prisoners became the first residents of the land at the end of the world after the prison was dissolved. These prisoners worked hard from sawing wood, planting crops, building towns, and then gradually developing into cities. And today, there are still long train lines that they used to make in the past, which have become a world-famous tourist destination called the World's End Train. In this city of Ushuaia, their average altitude is about 23 meters above sea level. The average temperature in the summer is also very cold, from 4 to 6 degrees Celsius, and the area is only 23 square kilometers with a population of more than 60,000 people. Around this area are snow-capped mountain peaks around 5. When people come here, they often check in at the sign with the words roughly translated as Ushuaia, the end of the world. This place is described as a paradise for wild animals such as seals, penguins, seagulls, or many other animals. Argentines also know how to polish their reputation. All the places here are associated with the phrase, the end of the world. For example, when you come here, you will be able to drink coffee at the end of the world, sleep in the hotel at the end of the world, send a letter from the post office at the end of the world, and do many other things from the end of the world. That is a way to promote the name of Argentina that could not be better. All countries have their own ways to promote their names. And speaking of Argentina, the first person in the world born in Antarctica was an Argentine, and people even have the hypothesis that this is a plot of the Argentine government to assert its sovereignty in Antarctica. Of course, we all know that the Antarctic Treaty later stipulated that this area does not belong to any particular country and that it is only used for peaceful purposes and scientific research. Now there are some more controversies about the end of the world because there is more than one end of the world. Going further south, there are some other places where people continue to be present. There are cities, there are towns, there are meteorological stations, there are even military bases. Almost any new city that springs up, they attach the phrase "end of the world" to it to promote their name. There are 3 places currently competing for the title of end of the world. Those are the cities we just mentioned with 60,000 people in Argentina. Next are 2 cities in Chile, with one place with more than 120,000 people and the other place with more than 5,000 people. In which, if we are to be precise about the geographical area, Porto Williams is the town located farthest to the South Pole, not the place mentioned from the beginning. In addition, some other settlements are located closer to the South Pole. But none of them have a large enough population to be classified as a city. Or some places appeared later, so their reputation is not really as remarkable as the city we mentioned in the first part. In addition, according to some other points of view, there are some areas in the world that have been found by humans but have not been fully explored and are also considered the end of the world. In which, many people agree that the seabed is just the most mysterious place on the planet and also the end of the world. As we know, the ocean covers more than 70% of the Earth's surface. But more than 80% of the ocean floor has not even been mapped or explored. There are many mountain ranges at the bottom of the ocean, and there are still many mysteries to humans. People even hope that humans can reach the moon, can explore Mars, but exploring the ocean is a completely different story. It was not until 2012 that humans discovered the deepest point at the bottom of the ocean, located in the Mariana Trench. And it is estimated that it will take a very long time for humans to explore all of our seabed area. That is all I want to share in today's story about the place considered the end of the world. Of course, once again, I have to mention this concept: it is only relative. But in fact, in this world, there are still such places, there are still places that are recognized by humans for their geographical location. And let me remind you, in the concept that we mentioned in this video, the end of the world is considered the last place on the South American continent where people live on the scale of a city. Thank you for following the story. If you find it interesting, you can click the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell and share. Now, let's say goodbye. Don't forget to suggest topics that I can do in the upcoming videos. Thank you very much.